Shalom Aleichem. Welcome to the 11th Annual Women of Valor. I'm Todd Salovey, the Associate Artistic Director of San Diego Repertory Theater and the Artistic Director of the Lipinsky Family San Diego Jewish Arts Festival.
My name is Ali Viterbi, and I'm the Associate Producer of the festival and the Director and co-writer of this year's Women of Valor.
Every year, we donate all the ticket proceeds of Women of Valor to Jewish charities in San Diego. This year, our beneficiaries are the 3 Jewish high schools, as well as the San Diego Jewish Community COVID-19 Emergency Fund. You can donate generously by clicking on the link at the end of this video.
This year's honorees teach us how we can be together, even virtually, in community. And we hope that through hearing their stories of joy, of grief, of commitment to their community, and of courage, we can all weather this storm together.
Tonight, we honor Rebbetzin Chaya Ertel. Thank you so much for watching, and please enjoy A Woman of Valor.
Sakani otzocher mimerchak tavilachma chagra beoz matneha vateamet zerateha.
A woman of valor, who shall find?
She is more precious than pearls.
She seeks out wool and flax and cheerfully does the work of her hands.
She is like trading ships, bringing food from afar.
She gets up while it is still night to provide for her household.
She invests herself with strength, and her arms are powerful.
She opens up her hands to the poor and reaches out to the needy.
Eshet Chayil Miimsa, a woman of valor, who shall find?
You know, it's interesting. We actually joke about this, my husband and I, because after this incident, I looked at him and said, "You get the couch tonight." It was a couple of years ago, 2 hours before Pesach, and we were supposed to have like 40 people for first night Seder. And my husband Shmuley goes, "You know, I think we're gonna have about 60. The number jumps, and this is really how we live our lives. Like, I never know who's coming or how many, and then maybe an hour before Pesach, he goes, "The numbers jump to 90. So within a few hours, we went from like 40 to 90, and in the end, we had 120 people for our Seder with no notice at all. And it was so interesting because the accomplishment for my husband might have been how many people wanted to be at our house. But for me, it was really that mind shift of like, whatever it is, it's really just going to be okay. And it was funny because I realized that when I prepare for 40, it's really for 120 because we had plenty of food. Don't really know how my husband and I ended up in full-time Jewish outreach, to be honest with you. We're the only ones from our circle back then who are still in it. And I guess I always had a tremendous confidence in Shmuley's abilities. No, that's a lie. That's a total lie. I thought he was too chill and too soft, and the ones that were super out there and dynamic, I was like, why can't you be more like that? But in retrospect, oftentimes, you find that charisma piece is actually a problem. Like, it's not necessarily genuine. My husband had a real softness with his students, and he had a vision that the only way to reach people was individually, not with big flashy parties or programs, just one by one by one. And when we moved to San Diego, it was just an instantaneous shidduch. My husband absolutely loves the students at UCSD, and the community just embraced us. We took a risk moving here, but we love the community, the diversity and the warmth. My friends tell me I'm too hard on myself. Like, if I sit for a second, my brain is like, why are you doing that? You should be accomplishing something. I think when I was younger, I didn't know who I was because I was just searching for perfection. It wasn't till I hit 40 that I felt like all the pieces came together, that I had a real voice. I spoke at the Leach Tech Foundation back in February. I'm telling you, I had such stage fright. It was like a microphone and 100 people and me. I was supposed to speak about my life in 5 minutes, and I had all of these notes I prepared, and I had my message. And then my friend looks at me like, Chaya, throw out your notes. It's supposed to be your story. You don't need notes for your story. I think that's what this evolution is. I don't need notes for my story. I finally know who I am and what I have to offer. Now, hold on a minute. Mommy's just on the phone. Bela, can you watch him for a minute? I'm just doing my Women of Valor interview. Yehuda's 6. He's sort of like a shark. He senses fear, and now I can't get rid of him. Okay. No, I'm hiding in the car. No, I think my biggest accomplishment is just trying to let go of control. Like control of the outcome and control of the success. I'll tell you something very personal. After Esty, my second daughter, I got pregnant again. And we weren't planning it. It was very much a surprise. And I called my rabbi and I was like, I don't know how this happened. And then it eventually became obvious that the baby wasn't gonna make it and I was miscarrying. And I called the rabbi crying. I don't understand. Like, I went through this period of I can't believe it's happening to this period of total acceptance to this period of like, oh my gosh, now it's not even gonna happen. So what was it all for? I think that's all of our question when anything bad happens. And I'm learning to be okay that I just do not know the end of the story. We have no idea what it was all for. And especially in a global pandemic, we need to be comfortable living with uncertainty. My oldest daughter, Bela, is getting married this summer. And with the wedding, there's been unbelievable pressure, like as if I run the CDC, like I have secret information that nobody else has. So people are calling me, like, what's with the wedding? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm watching the same news reports you are. Nobody has any information, not even the doctors. So it's a very humbling experience that we can't Google the answer. And we don't know how Hashem runs the world. It's like the comparison of the tapestry, where one side is all the knots and the other side is the picture. So we live in a world of the knots where we don't really have that full picture. Oh my God. Oh my God, you have to see this.
It was so crazy. This is actually not even the craziest thing that's happened. No, I need to show you what's happening right now. Hold on. I don't know. I think there's something wrong, but there's nowhere to take it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm not crying. I mean, I probably should be, but I'm just laughing. Oh. So, I would say my best advice in handling this situation is to look outside yourself. See what you can do to help others. I actually started this WhatsApp group a couple of years ago when I realized that a lot of people in San Diego make Pesach, but we don't coordinate. Like, hi, I'm at Walmart. By the way, there's kosher stuff here. Or I'm going to LA. Does anybody need anything? It was such an easy opportunity to help, and it started so small. And then all of a sudden this year, everybody in San Diego was stuck at home, and a lot of people were making Pesach for the very first time. And I saw a lot of comments online saying, ha ha, look, now people finally have to know how hard it is to make Pesach. And I remember feeling really sad. Like, the Torah is not meant to be kept in a way that makes us suffer. And so then the WhatsApp group kind of blew up. We've got nearly 200 members now. We organize Pesach catering. We arrange for food for people who didn't have any. And we're even using it to help restaurant owners that were at risk of going under, and delivery people that needed extra cash to make Yom Tif. I've probably coordinated like $400,000 worth of kosher food the last few months. It really was an all-encompassing way to help local businesses and support our community. But for me, it was just a way that I can host people for Pesach, even when I can't physically host people. And what's really special is that it brought all the Jewish communities of San Diego together. Like, I would say that there's not a single group not represented. And I feel more connected to the greater San Diego Jewish community than ever. I just can't help but feel that Hashem put us here to work together. We all have separate missions, but we're all part of the same story. And none of us know how that story is going to end. But I think it might make our stories easier if we're more connected to each other.
פניה וישרוה בעלה ויהללה רבות בנות עשו חיל והטלית על כולנה.
Judaism is the lens through which I can stay connected to community through this crisis.
It's always important to me, but it's strangely more relevant now. I normally have a Shabbat every Friday night, but I don't always have Kiddush, or sometimes I'm just exhausted from our week and I go out. But during this time, my family and I have a Zoom Kiddush, and we light the Zoom candles every week. Why didn't we do that before?
Yes, we do a Shabbat Zoom call with the kids and grandkids. And I'm baking challah again. I had to get the yeast from my neighbor.
For me, my Judaism is in the front of everything I do right now. There are so many people that are attacking it more than ever. People are angry, right? And they want to blame somebody for the circumstance that they're in. Anti-Semitism has increased so much during this crisis.
I don't think that there's anything that I do that doesn't have the foundation of Judaism. And by Judaism, I mean God. I feel like there's nothing that I do in my life, no matter what the situation is, that doesn't have that foundation. It's like separating your head from your body. Like, there's no way of doing it and still being alive.
It's terrible. I don't know why this is happening. Why God does this. I don't know. Sometimes I wonder. But you've got to have hope. You can't give in.